We'll now turn our attention to golf at TPC Kuala Lumpur, the CIMB Classic. Justin Thomas will be looking for the three-timer. He's won the last two. He's looking to be the first man to win 3 in a row since Steve Stricker, who won the John Deere Classic 3 times between 2009 and 2011. The bookies, this is going by Betfair Sportsbook, have got Justin Thomas going off at 4-1 as a very short favourite, and I think that's extremely short. I know he's going for the three-timer. He has a good history in this tournament, but 4-1 is very low. I haven't seen it that low for a long time in a 4-round medal tournament for a long time. I won't be going for that. Anyone who does, fair enough. He's the FedEx Cup champion. We've bet with him before this year, and we've won with him this year. But I think it was at odds of about 45-1, not 4-1. Obviously, his odds should shorten because he's the FedEx champion now. He's been in tremendous form, and he obviously has that winning history in this tournament. But 4-1, not interested. Looking through the field, you've got Hideki Matsuyama. He's at about 8-1. That's fair enough. That might be something that people want to look at. I notice Xander Schauffele has been cut a lot in the betting. He's around 20s, 22-1. He's obviously been in form. Personally, I'm going to come in first at 28-1 with Gary Woodland. He's a very powerful player. He's a very strong player. I've been waiting for him to come on and win some tournaments. Hopefully he can get it going this week. It's a field of 78, and I think in this field, Woodland at 28-1, I think is a fair figure. I'm not going to say it presents a huge amount of value. I think it's roughly about right. So in this field, he could have been 25-1. He's out at 28. There might be a slither of value there. I'm going to take Woodland, 28-1 each way. I'm going to take Rafa Cabrera Bello at 40-1 each way. He's won for us on this channel in the past year. He's been in good form, very good flair, very good short game, as is common with a lot of Spanish players. And in this field, we fancy him to go well. And at 40-1, it's a very reasonable figure. It could have been less, bearing in mind the competition he's up against this week. We're going to take the reliable, sometimes unsung hero, Pat Perez, 40-1. A reliable, solid performer, not particularly amazing in any department, but just a very good all-round game. He's reasonably consistent, keeps the ball in play. 40-1, I think is reasonable. We're going to return to someone that we often back on this channel. We've left him alone of late, but we're going to return back to him. We're going to look at the former PGA champion, Jason Dufner. He won for us on this channel this year. He has petered out the last few weeks. I have noticed. It hasn't gone without notice. He hasn't been in the form that he's capable of. Hasn't been in the form he was in sort of the middle of the year. But it's just because of the field I'm going to look at him here and the number, 45-1. In this field, it's slightly insulting for a player of his pedigree. He's a Ryder Cup player. He's a top player. Keeps it in play. He's a tidy player. He's got the temperament. He's got what it takes to win major championships. At 45-1, relative to some of the other numbers I'm looking at in this field, there's value there. We're going to take Jason Dufner to return to form. Hopefully he can. We're also going to take Keegan Bradley. Keegan Bradley, 66-1. I think it's a good figure. Again, in this field of 78, that's one of the numbers I saw that stood out. The field, it's a decent field. It's not a stellar field. There's no Dustin Johnson. There's no, Rory McIlroy. There's no Jordan Spieth. Some of the big names aren't there. So, field of 78. Bradley at 66-1. I think we went for him last week. I don't think it worked out for us, but hopefully it will this week. This is a par 72 course. It's 7,005 yards. There's a possibility of rain on the weather forecast. There's rain, there may even be thunderstorms, so you may want to consider players that perform well in those sort of conditions. But I'm reasonably happy with who we've gone for here. We've got 5 names. We've got Gary Woodland, 28-1, Rafa Cabrera Bello, 40-1, Pat Perez, 40-1, Jason Dufner, 45-1, and Keegan Bradley, 66-1. All these selections will be each way, 7 places. Took these prices from Betfair Sportsbook. You got any selections for the CIMB Classic on the PGA Tour this week? Please list them out. Please list the reasons you think they have a chance. We're also going to have a look at the Italian Open quickly. Haven't taken a huge look at this. I've had a very brief look at the prices. going off in this tournament. A lot of people fancy Tommy Fleetwood this week, and he is a player I like. I just think the odds are a little bit too low for me to back him on this occasion. He is a player that I'll keep in mind though. I do like Tommy Fleetwood, particularly on the European Tour, particularly in majors. When majors come along, I'll always be looking at the price Tommy Fleetwood is at, because I think at some stage, he could have his week and possibly win a very big tournament or win a major. So here's one to keep in mind. The ones I've spotted, again, we're going to go for someone we have done a lot recently. It didn't work last week at the Alfred Dunhill. We're going to stick with Martin Keimer for all the reasons we always do. The pedigree, the former major winner, the Ryder Cup player, the fact he's a young man and still hungry, the fact he's coming into a little bit of form. We have noticed his positions have improved recently in tournaments. So Martin Keimer's at 33 to 1, and in a field that, it's not a stellar field. It's a good field. It's a decent field, the Italian Open, but 33 to 1, we'll take it each way. And we'll also go for someone we went for a couple of weeks ago. Someone we look at on the PGA Tour when there's a little bit of value there, when the bookies, give good numbers, big numbers. Going to go for David Lingermuth. He's playing over on the European Tour for a few rounds, it looks like. He's staying over there. Last couple of weeks, he's been over on the European Tour, and he's doing it again. He's at 45 to 1, and he's just a very solid player. He hasn't won for a while. He's been hitting it well, he's been hitting it consistently, and hopefully he can go close in that field in the Italian Open. So the two selections that I'll give, just as a glancing picks: Martin Keimer 33 to 1, David Lingermuth 45 to 1, both each way on the Italian Open. Enjoy both tournaments, both on the PGA and European Tour. Give any comments if you want to, saying who you think has a chance. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.